my experience as a business analyst, as a financial manager, as a risk manager, I can deploy all these set of skills to be able to harness the potential that I have seen coming in front of us. Now, the new entities does not stop from creating of Ministry of Petroleum Incorporated. It also extends into creating a new entity called the National Petroleum Company, as against the current Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation. How does that structure going to look like? It's going to be the same NNPC of today, with the exception of some few assets. And those assets are all the PSC assets and those that are on the inland basins. Then what that means is that NNPC would go without the PSC assets and the inland basins. And another new company will be created to take care of those PSC assets and of course the inland basins. And that new company is going to be called Nigerian Petroleum Asset Management Company. That company is going to focus on managing the production sharing contract, which is the deep offshore acreages as well as the inland basins. And in all this structure, whether it is NPC, the Nigerian National Petroleum Company, or the NPAMC, the Nigerian Petroleum Asset Management Company, in all these the ratio is going to be 20, 40, 40, as I previously explained. Another new entity that will be created, which gives me a lot of concern because it falls under new commercial entities, is called the Nigerian Petroleum Liability Management Company. Who are the shareholders of this company? DPR, Nigerian Petroleum Asset Management Company, Nigerian Petroleum Company. What kind of liability is going to be managing? Pension liabilities. So to me, is another pension company is these guys, with these three entities as shareholders, meaning staff contributions, employer contributions, dividends coming from investments will go into that company, and that company is going to be a commercial entity for who? Sitting under the Ministry of Petroleum. That calls for concern, because under the 2014 Pension Reform Act, you cannot commingle asset of a sponsor company and that of a pension company. I don't know if that conflicts the provision of the 2014 Reform Act, but if it does, it's something that we need to look at. Now, if it doesn't, we don't want to allow somebody from a ministry or somebody from any of the new entities who will come and tamper with the funds of pensioners, with the fund of retirees, with the fund of active staff. So we need somebody who understands these dynamics once again, who understands the pension law and who understands the PIB as it is passed today to be able to do this. And because we don't have time, we don't need a learner, we don't need a novice. We need to know somebody who has been tested, somebody who has done it before, somebody who has the capacity, who has been adjudged by PENCOM, by the sponsor, by staff to have done it well. And that person is standing right in front of you. Give me the opportunity and I will not disappoint you. So the key highlight is here. We're going to have a structure like this after the PIB is accented to. We're going to have a new entity called Ministry of Petroleum Incorporated, under which three companies are going to sit: National Petroleum Company, Nigerian Petroleum Asset Management Company, Nigerian Petroleum Liability Management Company. These three companies are going to sit. Who are the shareholders of Nigerian Petroleum Liability Management Company? DPR, NPC, NPAMC. Who are the shareholders of NPC? Well, I don't know. It's going to be 20, 40, 40. 20 BPE, which goes to the private, the public. 40 Ministry of Finance Incorporated. 40 Ministry of Petroleum Incorporated. The same thing applies to NPAMC. We're going to have another one called the Petroleum Equalization Fund, which is getting its revenue by increasing fuel price by 5%, because what that means is for every liter of oil that is consumed, PEF has 5%. And that means, of course, the consumers will have to pay for the 5%. And it's one area that will also have to work up, because something would happen there. And of course, the liability company that tends to take our pension asset and turn it into a commercial venture. And that is one area that we need to critically look at. The Nigeria Petroleum Regulatory Commission is going to consist, like I said, of NPI, that's Nigeria Petroleum Inspectorate, Department of Petroleum Resources, Petroleum Products Pricing and Regulatory Authority. While, of course, the NPC is going to consist of all those elements that you know, MPDC, the IJVs, the orders that we can create sometimes, I don't know, but it depends on how the business looks like. But one thing the bill does also is that it has empowered the board members to sell any asset for the sake of the business. So if there's any strategic reason why any asset will be sold, the bill has empowered the board of that company to sell the assets. So let's take, for instance, the refinery is now transferred to NPC. And then, of course, for strategic reasons, the management and the board of that company feels that they need to sell the refineries. That means the bill has allowed them to sell it. So we have to brace up, because if they want to sell it, should we resist it, or should we insist that our members get all their benefits while it is sold? That is very important, because without clear understanding, no amount of banking table will solve the problem for you. You have to be analytical, you have to be articulate, you have to face the issue the way it is, and you have to present it with facts and come up with solutions to be able to get it done. With this little but detailed analysis I've given you, I'm sure you are convinced that the reason why the PIB is contemplated in the first place has not been met. At least we have done the governance part. We still have the legal framework, we still have the fiscal regime, and we still have the stakeholder issues unsettled. Until all these issues are settled, we cannot celebrate that the PIB is done. And even with the governance bill that is passed, we have been able to highlight all the challenges that are there. And the good thing is that upon all these challenges, you have gotten someone who has solved similar challenges on a lower scale. Because PIB is presenting itself for the first time, you need somebody who has that level of understanding of the terrain to be able to pilot the affairs and take us to the promised land. That person is Comrade Saleh Abdullahi. He has the requisite skill as evidence in his profile. He has demonstrated knowledge as evidence from this detailed explanation of PIB that he has provided. Give me the opportunity to serve you, and I can assure you that your expectation will be made. Thank you.
On earth is weaker than the feeble strength of one, but the union makes us strong.